Hogwarts Legacy is hiding what seems to be a very big update, as certain files were updated in the last 24 hours, but specifically under the categories for both beta and main development. And well, let's just say that the devs seem to be very busy. And lastly, Azkaban coming as a playable area for everyone. Well, we have lots to get through, and I'm eager to know, are you still playing this game, or have you fully completed it, and what are you actually playing the game on? Let me know in the comment section below. So what is this big update that is supposedly coming what seems to now be sooner than we actually think? Well, thanks to Robbie from Open World Games, he spotted on the Steam files that there was a small update that is not available to anyone at all at this moment in time. It's simply just the activity log in terms of what they're doing in the back end. So nothing's officially available to anyone, but you can actually see when certain things have been updated. And what he spotted is what you see on screen. Now, the two categories that we're looking at here are the beta and the main development. Now, what exactly is this? Now, these updates were discovered, fun fact, in the same place where the two files that were named DLC are. Now, of course, that was discovered a few weeks back, and at this moment in time, since this discovery, it still seems like those are in the exact same position, and next to it, it still does say unused. Now, at this moment in time, what we're looking at specifically regarding what's under the beta and main development is not in relation to a DLC or expansion. And the only reason I'm about 99.9% sure that is simply because of the last gen release that of course is happening in April. So my perspective, or my assumption anyway, is that that is their main point of focus at this moment in time. And of course, on top of that, the recent statement that they said where they ultimately just explained that they don't want anyone to get the short straw because the game's not available to everyone just yet. But even with that said, what they are working on here could be an update to include various things, like new outfits, right down to things to give us a smoother experience, or even potential exclusive drops, which we do know they want to do more of. Now, the interesting thing here that is now pretty obvious is since the announcement yesterday that Elden Ring is actually getting an expansion, which at least seems at this moment in time to be a big expansion, has almost more or less just snatched the spotlight from Hogwarts Legacy and will continue to do so for the next few days. And of course, that will only get bigger once they go ahead and release that expansion. Now, WB Games being, well, WB, I highly doubt that this is what they want. And on top of that, to just put the icing on the cake, a lot of people are having the discussion about the game actually now being a one-hit, one-type of game. Now, what's crazy here is, of course, the big discussion going around specifically with Elden Ring is, okay, well, that game was vastly popular but nowhere near the scale of Hogwarts Legacy, and of course there is definitely, undoubtedly going to be some sort of competition in regards to that. Now, this leads onto what exactly is going on behind the scenes right now for the game. Now, arguably, modders have been keeping this game in the light by adding various things that really deep down is what we would have loved to see in the base version of the game, and more recently is a wanted system that leads you to actually go to Azkaban if you actually use the unforgivable spells / curses. Now, just like Quidditch's absence in the game but still visually being there to explore, it's similar of course with Azkaban but exclusive to a house. Now, things like this look to be very obvious as to why it has been done intentionally. Now, with modders bringing things to life like that, of course with the exception at this moment in time when I'm making the video with Quidditch still missing, taking into account how easy it has been to implement it, seems like the source has been almost intentionally left to explore as a means to actually test player behavior. Now, going back and looking at the two pending files named under DLC, it almost seems likely that Azkaban will become a part of some sort of big expansion alongside Quidditch for Hogwarts Legacy, and seeing that they are secretly now doing something in the background really does make you wonder. And again, this is all within the last 24 hours, and that's pretty much what makes this entire story very, very bizarre. bizarre, because the question is, what are they actually doing? Because from a performance standpoint, on a big scale, the game seems to be absolutely fine. I mean, sure, there might be some very small bugs and glitches, but nothing on a level where tons and tons and tons of people are making, very big complaints. Now, one thing that I would absolutely love for them to extend on in this game is the Dueling Club. Now, someone mentioned the following: the quest line for the Dueling Club is so fun and really great for introducing you to combat as well as combos. I just wish it was longer, or something that you could always do again and again. And similar to the arenas, because I love the combat but sometimes don't feel like flying around to find poachers to fight somewhere, or I might just not want to go ahead and fight these spiders in the arenas. It was also fun just kicking other students' butts and showing them that I'm the top dog around here. Anyone else wish it wasn't something you can only do 3 times. Now, someone then added to that by saying that they should actually be rehoused by you in the spare room of your room of requirement, and that it would actually be a nice shout out to Dumbledore's army and would help make the progression feel like you are becoming a part of the year, etc., rather than feeling like a loner outside of set classmate quests. Like, once you have those main friendship quests done, they should be in there too, honestly. Now, it would also be fun to keep the Dueling Club going, because the previous person says, you practice new stuff, and of course you just really double down on your craft, but ultimately allows you to get that combat experience without having to, of course, venture out. Now, in my opinion, I've got to say that I feel this game has so many small things that are actually present in the game, but they just ultimately still missed a huge opportunity on it. And sometimes it feels like it was unintentionally done rather than intentionally with a valid reason behind it. Like, for example, we can understand why there is no Quidditch, or why, of course, Azkaban is limited in terms of the exploration, because, of course, it's an open door to an expansion. It's an open door to new content, DLC as a whole. But when it comes down to basic things in the game that are already existent, and then you just can't go further inside of that, it does make you wonder. Like, for example, it was confirmed that this game had a huge feature that almost every single person who has played this game wanted to see, and then they just removed it rather than allowing you to have an on or off button. Like, the feature was literally implemented in the game, and then suddenly they just said, no, we're going to go ahead and remove that. And it's things like that that are very questionable. Now, check out the video that you see on screen, because I'll explain that feature, and honestly, it will just leave you mind blown, to say the least. So check out the video right now.